Berlin Alexanderplatz, Berlin Alexanderplatz, I really hope that you're not getting sick of this song. It's the only one I've got. Also, this is part 3. Hello there, CriterioNate here. Part 3 of the ongoing, ever-going, infinite review, Bob Dylan's never-ending review of Rainer Werner Fassbinder's Berlin Alexanderplatz, number 411. So today we're talking about parts, what did I just watch? Parts 6 through 8. And yeah, I'm liking this. I am definitely liking this. I'm enjoying the serialized nature of the TV series. Obviously that's how it works. But also just, the storyline is okay. I think it's actually pretty good. So anyway, let's talk about it. So this is what happened. What part am I on? Part 6, yeah. So, part 6. Love has its price. Or, German, here's my German here. Ich liebe das Quartett immer wieder. So, part 6. So, Franz Kieber, what's this guy's name? Franz Kiebernoff. Franz, what's his name? Franz, whatchamacallit? Franz Kiebernoff. Bieberkopf. That's whatever his name is. It's Franz Bieberkopf, our hero, I guess. So we start off from where we left off before. Franz was silly, and he wants to, and Reinhold wants Franz to take Trudy off his hands, and Franz doesn't want anything to do with it. So at the beginning of part 6, he's confronting Reinhold about this. And Reinhold's already picked out this woman named Nellie to replace Trudy. And so he's just kind of just, nope, not even part of it. So the next thing we see, he wakes up and he tells Silly about this weird dream he had where he was a horse and then a bird and Reinhold was a snake. And so anyway, Franz meets Mech in the Max's. And he gets him mixed up with Poom, so Reinhold's dude and all that. And so anyway, then Reinhold intrude into the bar, and later on he sees Bruno, who works for Poom's, getting beat up in the street, and Franz goes to help him, and Bruno tells him that he can't go work for Poom, so would Franz take his place. Franz agrees. He goes out, and at first, I guess he thinks that he doesn't realize that Poom's is they're doing an illegal thing. They need help they need someone to be a lookout for a robbery they're pulling. Poom's and Reinhold and all them. And it isn't until I think it isn't until Reinhold hits him at one point that he ends up, and Mech or Reinhold hit him, and it's until then he realizes, oh my God, I'm a lookout. He thinks that. I think he said something about he said that he thought that they were like part of the fruit business or something. I don't know. I didn't quite catch that. So anyway, so Franz, so they make their getaway, and a truck. I guess he makes eyes with a car who. He challenges, he gets the idea that, this guy gets the idea that the getaway truck wants to race him because of how, I guess, Franz looks at him or something. And so he's zooming by, and he's tailing him, and he's racing up against him and zooms past him. Reinhold gets really suspicious by this and thinks that Franz is setting them up. So he throws Franz out of the truck, and then and Mech announces him dead to Silly, I guess. And I'm trying to remember. But yeah, but Franz is still alive, obviously. He's caught under a truck or a car or something, and I guess the car that zoomed by or another car tries to save him, gets him out, and he starts muttering all this weird stuff in the car about numbers and math. And I guess Reinhold finally throws Trudy out or something and becomes his own man and throws her out. And that's basically part 6. Part 7 Part 7. Let me give you the German. Part 7. Die Sonne wollen. Oh wait, no, that's part 8. Merk. Einen Schwur kann man amputieren. Remember, an oath can be amputated. And in this case, the oath is Franz's arm. Yes, Franz, in the accident, loses his arm, his right arm. And at the beginning, Pooms and Reinhold are discussing Franz and what they should do. And they decide to take up a collection to give him money. And Bruno comes by, and Franz is currently staying with Eva and Herbert, who's Eva's lover. And Reinhold refuses to pay for Franz's arm. He thinks it's stupid, and of course, because paid for him, obviously. And so Bruno comes by to tell him, "Oh, hey, we've grown up a collection we've given a collection," and Franz is like, "Why?" He doesn't want anything to do with it, I guess. And Franz and Eva play dead, like they yell, "Oh, murderer, murderer!" And then they fall. And Bruno gets scared by this and runs away, So anyway, outside of that, later Reinhold and Silly talk, and I think they actually get back together at one point. And so anyway, so Franz walks to this alley, the red light district of Berlin, and he meets this guy who offers her the Whore of Babylon, offers him the Whore of Babylon, and he just kind of walks away. And he ends up going to this bar and like personifying himself in the drinks. And these two women are watching him and they're like, "Oh God, he's weird, he might be your type though." And so Franz sees one of the women, he takes her with him, and they go to a bar. And he ends up going to the Subway and introducing her to the guy who sells the sex magazines. And while he's there, he runs into Mech, and they catch up for a minute. And so they go to a hall, and he meets a guy named Willie. And Willie is kind of another crooked guy. They make the woman do this weird walk. They make it like, "Oh, let's see you walk," and she ends up kissing and like wiggling her butt around, and I don't know. Anyway, so while they're there, the show starts, and Silly comes out and sings a song, and while she's there, she sees Franz with the woman in the audience, and Silly just has this moment of just shock, because she was under the impression that he was dead, that Franz was dead, because Reinhold had told her so. So when she gets back to her dressing room, she totally tears into Reinhold for lying to him, basically. And that's more or less the end of that part. And then the final part we're discussed today, part 8. Die Sonne wärmt die Haut, die sie manchmal verbrennt. The sun warms the skin, but burns it sometimes too. So in this part, it's basically revolves around Franz's love affair with a woman named Meets. Franz ends up going to Max, seeing him again. He ends up going to the red light district and seeing the guy who offers the Whore of Babylon again. And he's like, "You always keep offering me this. Why do you always do this?" And so he kind of just chastises him, or just criticizes him for doing the same thing over and over and over again. And so Franz is in his apartment, and Eva and Herbert come by, and they say, "Oh, we've got a girl for you. You should totally meet her." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. They're like, "Oh no, she's right outside. Come bring her up." And so she comes up, and I don't even think that Meets, M-I-E-Z-E, isn't even her real name. I think she says it. I think she says that Eva isn't even, Meets says that Eva isn't even a real name. I think Franz gives the woman the name of Meets, and they fall in love. They're like, "Oh God, they're so cute." And then they go on a boat, and Franz has to paddle with one oar, with one hand, and he ends up, they play hide and seek with Blind Man's Buff or something in the woods, and he ends up tripping, and Meets ends up, feeling guilty about it, but he's like, he's all right. And so Willie drops by, and I guess Meets got him a parrot or a canary or something to chirp. And while she's gone, the landlady comes by and brings him a letter addressed to Meets that ends up being a love letter, I guess unsigned love letter. Franz gets really upset, goes over to Eva to tell her about it. Eva ends up seducing Franz, and I guess they end up sleeping together. And so, while he's passed out on the floor, Eva runs out and catches up with Meets, confronts her about the letter, and Meets is just like, don't worry about it or something like that. And so Eva goes back to Franz and tells him that, basically, that she's not worried about it and he shouldn't be worried about it or something like that. Even though he is, he still is. And that's basically on the part. So that's all I got today. Again, I'm enjoying this. I think this is good. I believe it's still in print. I'm pretty sure it's still in print. So I might be picking this one up. Although I don't know, I may be waiting. I'm hoping there might. I would like to hope that there is a Blu-ray upgrade eventually. It doesn't look like it's the kind of series that could be upgraded to Blu-ray, because the quality, I can just tell, is a little off. But I don't know. It's still in print. It's on sale for $100. I don't know. Maybe I'll order it for the Criterion sale. By the way, August, if you're watching this, yes, I will do a review. I will do a separate video showcasing everything I got this sale. I still got to get the next couple. I got to pick them up probably later this week. I will pick them up, and I'll do a full review at the end of the month, which will probably be Thursday the 30th, because I get paid that day, and so I'll use that as my last final purchase day. So anyway, yeah. So again, I'm enjoying this. I'm probably gonna pick it up. I like this. It's a trip. It's a trip and a half. I'm surprised how much I'm liking this. This is definitely Fassbinder's best work so far. One thing I do want to say, and I don't know if this might be my play or not. One criticism I have about the DVD is that every time I've had to start a new playlist, start a new chapter, and to be fair, I'm watching this on my computer. This one I'm watching on my computer, and I don't know if I'm using VLC player to play the DVDs. Every time a new part starts, even if I've hit play all, which I hit play all and it plays all the parts one by one, every time a new part starts, it turns off the subtitles. And so it isn't until, and I'm not thinking about it until the dialogue starts and I'm realizing, wait, where are the subtitles, that I realize, oh shoot, I need to turn those back on. So it's a minor inconvenience, but it shouldn't be like that. So I don't know what happened with Criterion that they screwed up on this part. So anyway, that's basically it. That's all I got. So again, enjoying this. That's it for me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow for parts 9 through 11. Stay tuned, and again, let me know what you think. Let me know what you're thinking so far. We'll have to discuss this with you. Anyway, that's it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.